Our next speaker, I'm very excited. She's an incredible inspiration. She's a writer. She's a spoken word poet, a speaker in the mental health movement. She has a very powerful voice, challenging the stigma of living with mental illness. Now, her focus is about self-empowerment, radical self-awareness, and looking at the different faces of recovery. She's advised to the tech industry on mental health privacy, very important these days. And so here she is, the poet, activist, and she's joining from Los Angeles, Yashi Brown.
Hi, everyone. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. My name is Yashi Brown. I'm a mental health advocate. I am a poet as well as a public speaker and a few other things that don't matter. I can't believe we're at a time where we're having summits and global summits and there's a demand for people to talk about mental health like there is now. It's amazing. I started advocating in 2011 and it was not as large of a group. Well, I take that back. It was probably still a large group, but definitely it wasn't as loud. So I don't know. But what I can say is that it's beautiful that it's getting even louder. And what I can say also is it would be great if there was like a 4-day weekend, like 2 days before the weekend, mental health awareness, a holiday, global, like banks are closed, and we can all take time and just reflect on when the world had to come together. And for this situation, COVID-19, we've all had to come together already in many ways and gonna have to continue to pull through this. But I think it would be something amazing if we could do that. I was diagnosed initially with schizoaffective and then bipolar type 1 when I was 24. And it was quite a journey of up and down. And eventually I got on the right treatment and the right doctor, and everything started to come into place. And I said, wow, if this ever did happen, which before that I never thought it would be a reality, I said I would have to talk about it and let people know anything, any way to make it easier on another human being, because it was difficult. And that's what brought me into this space of talking about it. And it was difficult to tell the world that you experience symptoms of psychosis and that you experience depression. And it was definitely a new world for me in coming out, but I knew it was going to save a life. That's what talking about mental health is doing when we talk. We're saving lives. You might not think sharing your story or sharing experience or sharing that you have had better days or you need a hug, whatever that situation is, although needing a hug right now, that's a different thing within your circle. But doing this, you're saving so many lives, and it's going to continue to get easier and easier. Along the way, a support system, my mom, my dad, and my family, they were my first point of contact. And what I can honestly say is, if it wasn't for them, I would not be here. And if it wasn't for prayer, I would not be here, okay? Very true. My family did not push recovery on me. They met me where I was at. They didn't ask me why I wasn't doing something or why I wasn't acting a certain way or what I was losing and all of these. They just wanted me to feel good and be okay. They knew the other stuff would come eventually, as far as my life collapsing around me at the time, which it did. It rebuilt itself. And all they wanted to see was just that I was doing better, and they didn't force recovery. And in the end, organically, it started to happen. And through prayer and perseverance and faith and positive programming and affirmations and thinkings and certain things I did have to do, I was able to realize recovery and the right treatment and the right doctors, and it all came together. Another thing that's really important, my mom was calm. My family, they were calm. They didn't try to be experts. My mom was a mom. My dad was a dad. And it's so important, because when you're experiencing the symptoms of what individuals like myself experience, it's chaos inside, and we can't even make sense out of what's happening. And that's who's calling me right now. How funny. We can't even make sense of what's happening. But yes, that calm, we want calm. We want some sort of a control. And when you're not feeling it and you see, you go to where that is. Now, even if that individual is in some sort of way someone you're in conflict with, that time will pass, and you will be looking for that calm and that person that is able to be that. They're like a rock. It's not easy, I understand. And when I'm advocating and speaking, I see families so nervous and anxious, and what can I do? And my son needs help, my daughter. The best thing you can do is just be calm, while trying to just be close, and then give space when needed, and just letting them know you're there, but you're trying to learn. You don't have all the answers, but you're going to get them, and you're going to get them together. That is a lot. That meant a lot, and that had everything to do with my getting better in the end. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, actually. And so just some tips I wanted to share. Going to be a really amazing rest of the year as we continue to grow. It's going to be hard as we continue to adjust. It's important for us to be able to talk about our mental health, and it's important for us to be able to be understanding and just patient, because a lot of us are fragile right now. I'd say in general, the world is fragile right now. So that patience is everything. With that, I am going to share a poem. So here goes. I am in myself. I am in somebody else. The sky and lakes fill our pain and our ways when we are so round and so vain, and surround capitalized unresolved pains. And black trees can very well follow, but the ground still stoops and caresses and rubs our feet. It knows absolutely nothing but every secret in humanity is love. It knows intrinsic in every dusty, rusty, musty, sooty raindrop that we created is love. And it too needs love. I found myself the day that I ignored myself and reached for you, my stranger, my friend. Unwallowing in my ways, I took a leap of faith, then felt warm as God and the universe unleashed 2 more limbs from my sides. They stretched and flexed, then reached around and embraced me too from behind. I never knew such magic existed. Twice as reliable, twice as empathetic, such wholeness I always was, I always am. I would never have known this universal truth had I not listened and soothed or simply stood beside my fellow man. He never amputated my toes. God never cut off my ear. He didn't come to poke out my eyes as man fears is the case. When he spares an unproductive 20 minutes or gives a little bit of his time and thinks he's gonna lose something. No. God, he did just the opposite and sent me 20/20 vision. He gave me a lifeline that keeps giving. It's called each other. So in 2030, I no longer live this exponential potential in hindsight. Yes. This turntable can freely spin in perfection according to its kind. If we can just stop scratching these sounds, this soundless composition that never skips, its perfection never misses a beat. let's just stop scratching the LP, guys. Yes. Yes. So right now, I look up at my glorious sage, the sun. It makes me feel so forgiving and grateful. I cry. Its service is so unselfish, gut-moving, and so right. Every day, the sun, consistent, punctual, alive, despite our behavior, and reflects us in our prime one day in humanity. And wouldn't that be a blast? When exponential, without potential, can finally say, I've arrived alone. One day, soon, in humanity. Thanks, guys. Bless you. Stay blessed. Stay grateful. Never think you're alone. And if you do, there's someone that's willing to stand right next to you, I'm sure. Not too far away. Start putting that intention out there. Start making that your goal.
Thank you, Yashi Brown. Your words were so powerful. They resonate. You know, I think the power of poetry is very important for the inner storytelling, the inner release that we all need to experience. You know, I think there's one thing that's very important is that we are not all experts. Exactly what she said, but we are embodying the solution together. So I think we can just, you know, pause on that for a second.